Hey everybody, Norm over here at Norm's Rare Guitars, and I've got one of my old friends and one of the most recorded guitar players of all times, Mr. Tim Pierce.
Thanks.
Tim, you've heard Tim, whether you know it or not. I mean, most people who are really into guitars know who Tim is, but if you don't, you've heard him over and over and over again on so many tunes and so many TV shows and movies and commercials and stuff like that. Timmy, tell us a few of the people that you play with. I know you try to be modest and you don't want to say, I'm sorry to do that to you.
These days I just say Google me, because it's all front and center. I mean, there's a place called allmusic.com, and they have a list of over 1,000 records I played on. They have all of our credits. So any musician you want to see their credits, go to allmusic.com. So we take, just some of the a limited discography from allmusic.com. We put it on my website, so I'll just read from the website. Crowded House, Christina Aguilera, Seal, Avril Lavigne, Tracy Chapman, Joe Cocker, Ricky Martin, Meatloaf, Rod Stewart, Elton John, Michael Jackson, Bruce Springsteen, Rob Thomas, Rick Springfield, Phil Collins, Madonna, Toy Matinee, Don Henley, Santana, Rascal Flatts, Chris Isaac, Jewel, Faith Hill, Celine Dion, Dave Matthews, John Legend, Gavin DeGraw, Goo Goo Dolls, Uncle Cracker, Josh Groban, Miley Cyrus, Demi Lovato, Jason Mraz, Shinedown, Kelly Clarkson, Lana Del Rey, Colby Calais.
You mentioned Uncle Cracker, and did you ever play on that remake of Drift Away that they did, the Dobie Gray tune?
I don't think I played on that one. Let me think of this.
The reason I ask is because I used to play with Dobie Gray years ago.
Oh, did you
so,
really?
Yeah, so played Hammond organ with him, went on tour with him for a while,
The song that I did with them is one of my favorite songs that, I'm going to Google it. Sorry about this.
While he's looking, see, he can remember anything on the guitar, but if you ask him anything, off the cuff, then he kind of goes into that Alzheimer's thing.
Well, the thing is, I do hundreds of songs or even thousands of songs a year with people, so it's just not...
It goes by and you're on to the next one. Right?
Absolutely. And I'm not one of those people that is attached to any success that I might have had. Just because you can't be. If you're going to keep going and keep doing stuff, you can't really kind of...
So when they pay you, you generally just send back the money and stuff, right?
Yeah, I can't remember the Uncle Cracker song.
That you remember.
That's the key, right? Yeah, when the check clears, that's the key.
That's how you remember.
Yeah, but now it's PayPal, so things are great now. PayPal is
fantastic. Well, I got to get you to play some stuff because people are going to go, Norm, shut the hell up and let Tim play.
A little more warmed up now than I was a second ago.
There you go. Really cool.
Thanks.
Well, the reason they call Tim is because he's Mr. Insurance. You know that when Tim plays on a record or your record, you know what you're going to get. You know you're going to get the right sound. You know you're going to get a part that you like. And, like when we were talking before, we were saying that, a lot of times the producer comes in when they hear something in their head, and then they want you to kind of, interpret that for them. And sometimes being a session guy, sometimes even when you play something that you think is the right thing, you might have to kind of swallow your pride and go, well, if the producer says, I'd like to hear something a little bit different, you kind of go with that, right?
Yeah, we figured out a way to talk about it, and you have to have a really strong ego, and then you have to actually withdraw that ego 100% when necessary. When they tell you, nah, we don't like that thing that you just poured your heart and soul into, you have to go, okay, we move on, and then you have to bring your ego back because you've got to be strong again. So it's a discipline, it really.
And also like playing in front of the beat, behind the beat, stuff like that. Sometimes they want like a lazy feel. Sometimes they want it to be super energetic. So you might do something and they might go, bring it a little bit more energy happening, or make it a little bit lazier, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I had one session for a really well-known producer, and he said, you're too far behind. And I'd spent my whole life trying to lay back. And that's something that really did change when people started doing all their music on the grid, is that parts started getting brought forward. But still, when I play R&B, when I try and play R&B, I'll hear myself playing ahead of the beat, and I'll go, let me do that again. I need to lay it back. So it just depends on the moment and the song.
And the song.
Yeah.
So just, I don't want to put you on the spot as to who some of your favorite artists are that you've played with, but just maybe a couple good experiences and stuff that you've had.
You know, Rob Thomas is one of maybe the best rock star I've ever met. He's, just one of the guys when you're working with him. Jason Mraz is, what he brings you when you record with him is a finished song, and you really try not to harm it because it's finished. So you try and find parts to just color around it.
Right.
These people, they're just phenomenal at what I do. I've been working with Neil Diamond last year, and he's still exactly as good as he was when he was 20 years old, and his voice is the same. I mean, so it's pretty amazing for me to get to work with people that I would look at when I was in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I would look at their names on records and come out and work with them. A lot of my favorite people are producers. I mean, Rob Cavallo, he's still like, he's like a family member to me, It's like, so a lot of the guys that I really, really love are the producers.
So you played on a lot of Santana records, rhythm. That's really cool because, I mean, these days, people can send tracks and, you can be in two different places and do it. But, they know that when they send it down to you, what they're going to get.
Well, in that particular situation, I have to thank Lester Mendez and Matt Serletic. I don't know if you've met Matt, but yeah, those are the two producers. What happens in Santana's case is a lot of the music gets done down here with producers, and a lot of the rhythm tracks happen when he's busy on the road or whatever. So
is he like playing the solos and then you do the rhythm underneath, or are you doing the rhythm first?
The rhythm is usually first. Yeah. Usually
that's
first.
Usually
He usually gets the stuff after it's pretty well fleshed out and finished. Yeah.
Cool, like almost like a vocal coming on at the end.
Just exactly like that. Yeah, he's the lead singer in his band. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, tell us about Tim and Pete. And all your internet stuff that you got going right now, because I know a lot of that is another addendum to what you do.
Yeah, about 7 years ago, I saw some people who were like teaching the world to play guitar on YouTube, and I said, that's for me. So now I have a dedicated business. I've got a membership website, and my YouTube channel is designed to try and spread the word and get whoever's interested over to the membership site where they either buy in yearly or monthly. And I've got about 1,500 members, and we're really trying to grow it. I have employees, and I work on content every weekend, and I really try and push it. Pete is one of the best people I've ever met, and he has his own internet thing. And he asked me to do a show with them about a year ago, and we've done about 10 or 11 of these things, and we really want to do more because we interview guitar players, and we really it's kind of like our conversation right now. We get very real instantly, and so I'm looking forward to doing more of that with Pete. He's a wonderful, wonderful person and a great guitar player.
Well, I know it's catching fire, and that's great,
Thank you.
Great for you, and it's really an honor having you in here, too. So let me pretend like I'm a producer, and I say, Tim, give me a little Latin part, just something. I'm just throwing something out of the blue at you. He didn't rehearse. Just something, just so you see what you have to do when you're a studio guitar player.
I mean, the thing about Latin music, is that it's not really what it used to be. In the 90s, I would pick up a gut string and go. But now it'll be more just like anything. It might be like a Coldplay part or like a, Daft Punk, Nile Rodgers thing.
That was very Latin.
Okay, well, I did it then.
All, rock it's a mixture of everything these days and all that, especially like Santana, because he'll play, everything he plays has a Latin feel, but there's a rock groove happening and all that.
Yeah.
So it's always great having you in here. By the way, this is a Joe Bonamassa.
I bought this
Reissue,
here.
335, great sounding guitar.
Yeah.
Always sounds the best when you have a great player playing it. So a great guitar with a great player, what a great combination.
Yeah, this is my best 335. I bought it here, and it's a Joe Bonamassa signature model. It's my best one.
And you like the neck on that guitar? It feels right to you.
It reminds me of a vintage guitar.
Feels like home.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, Tim, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's always a pleasure having you in here.
Yeah.
Watch out for Tim and Pete and any of the other stuff. How are they going to find it online?
You can Google me, and there's two places to find me. My YouTube channel is Tim Pierce Guitar, and then my membership. On my membership, I have 50 hours of content and 500 videos, and it grows all the time. Next year, it might be twice that. But Tim and Pete, you can find us. We alternate. We'll do one show on my channel, one show on his. It's Pete Thorne, and I'm Tim Pierce, and that's where you find us.
One thing that's kind of cool is that a lot of this stuff that you can get on the internet, you can just learn so much, and also just us being able to talk. What I want to do is I want to try to get some of these studio players in that you've heard that you don't know who it was, but you've heard them. And there's guys like Dean Parks I'd love to get in.
Absolutely, yeah, we've got to do that.
George Deering. We had Larry Carlton in here last week, one of the greats of all time.
Of all time, yeah.
What can you say about Larry Carlton?
Yeah.
Joe DeBlasi is another guy who's done a lot of session work. We want to introduce you to some of these guys that this is LA. There's a lot of music going on here that you don't know where it's coming from, but it's coming from guys just like this. Tim Pierce, one of the greatest of all time, reliable, insurance, my man and my
Thanks,
buddy.
man.
Thank you, Tim.
All right, see you soon.
Thank you.